With less Marvel Legends getting announced for Target and Walmart, is this the beginning of the end of the 22-year-old toy line? What's up and welcome to Modern Toy Fair. Due to Michael being crushed by his giant sentinel in a tragic, but I'm okay with it, accident, I have returned. I am your host, the founder of the Neck Illuminati, the layer of shipments, procrastinator of pre-orders, perfect person, voice of voiceless, two-time daddy now, Mrs. Modern Toy Fair, Jarmar_games. I'm also joined by the man known as the Bearded Spice, the man Modern Toy Fair has full custody over, the man Optimus popped and refuses to stop, the Twilight Knight, the master of Mac, the three pump chump of taking the show off the rails, Nate. But
what's up, two-time daddy?
Two-time daddy. But Nate, there's more. I'm also joined tonight by the consumer of all things vile, the former co-host of Figuratively Speaking podcast, Cory. What's up?
What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
I'm excited to be. This is you and I's first podcast together.
Yeah, and it's sad that Michael is no longer with us, but good timing. Good timing. How you guys been though?
It was just the way, like, the Sentinel goes over and he just goes, "Oh no," and it was over. Like,
that was it.
He kind of went out like a chump.
Yeah,
no,
didn't put up any
go
fight.
Away.
He was like Wolverine, fall back.
But there is one thing though. Before he unfortunately met his demise, in his will, he did ask us to pose one question for the podcast tonight. So I think we should at least do that for him in his honor. So my question is Hasbro putting in the motions for the end of the Marvel Legends line? Ooh, what is that? Nate, you got really excited there.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I just saw something come
my
up
cat.
frame.
It's not even like.
Thanks for the clarification there. But we're gonna do something.
She just never comes down here during a show, and now all of a sudden it's like, "Hey, I heard you're Bearded Spice. What's happening?" Like,
what was I gonna say? I got distracted.
I'm sorry,
the cat. But yeah, actually, there was something else in his will that I do feel like we should pay him respects and honor this. He also wanted us to try something new, and instead of us giving our opinion first, we're gonna go ahead and read off the Patreon's input. Would you do the honors of doing that, Nate?
I will do the honors of doing that. This is wild. This is wild. One, that we're doing it this way, and it's two, that we're actually going to fulfill one of his wishes.
It was the fact that we're still only thing in his will. It was the only thing outside of that. So
that's crazy. All right, so let's get started. I got to get a little. All right. So first up is Boogeyman 13. The line ending. Hasbro trying to cut out the middleman to maximize profits and save their sinking ship? Absolutely. 45th lyric. I think it's Hasbro realizing that most of their figures outside of the MCU or Spider-Man lines don't sell in big box stores. Why hassle and worry about sales price rebates, items eventually being clearance, and paying for shelf space when you could just sell warehouse to warehouse and be done with it? It saves them money. Hardcore fans are happy as it mostly fixes distribution. And it allows the Marvel Legends team a chance to release lesser known characters and variants.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like those are really great points, and
I got one more.
Oh wait, I thought that was it. I thought there. Oh, no, I didn't write it down. I didn't write it down. That's me. That's me. That host.
I just had to rest the golden pipes there for a second.
All
right, last one. Last but not least, always.
How could I forget?
Yeah, always. What's performing cleanup? Isn't that in baseball when you're the fourth batter, you're cleanup? In this case, it's the third, but whatever. Anyway, Sukmatain. Hasbro said in their latest earnings report that most profit is from in-house brands like GI Joe. The licensing fee to Disney are high and require compromising on figure quality to pay off Disney and make the same profit. The line will just get progressively shittier and shittier. Now I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, that's also another fair point. I just thought it'd probably be a cool way to just jump off from here, see where you guys go. I don't know who wants to go first. How we do this? How cordial do we want to be? Do we want to talk over each other? Who goes first?
Well, definitely will be cordial. Considering that I am not as involved in Marvel Legends as I once was, and Cory still is, I would say Cory should go first.
Okay,
Cool.
sure. I definitely don't want the line to end in any way. But I do see, like the last patron said, it does seem like it's getting less sparse, little. I wouldn't say shittier, but it kind of is. I mean, you're seeing a lot of figures now without build-a-figure pieces. I mean, I do have like a kind of a tinfoil hat conspiracy that they George Lucas still has the merchandising rights for Star Wars, so they were kind of like, hey, we're not getting all that pie, so we're gonna keep making this stuff. We're gonna like just fade this stuff out so we can make stuff that we get more of that pie more popular. And we saw that with the newer movies. The 3 3/4 figures were just trash, and it just keeps chipping it away, and they say, hey, within a decade we want to be out of the Star Wars game, or we want to be out of the Marvel game altogether. I would say it was more believable maybe a couple of years ago. They bought an entertainment company for, what was it, $3 billion. I think they bought E1
I
for
think it was 3, yeah.
$3 billion. And I was always, Nate will agree with me. Like, this is what I've been saying for years. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. But I was always under the impression that with the Transformers brand as hot as it used to be, them trying to build the GI Joe brand, them buying an entertainment company, they were trying to become the contenders of Disney, because there wasn't anybody out there, right? At that moment, they were the only ones holding these certain IPs that were kind of going toe to toe with Star Wars. Transformers was huge there for a while. Not as much now, but I would say back then they would have definitely had a plan to be like, okay, at what point do we start phasing out these brands that we're getting from Disney, and trying to push our own a lot more. So back then I would say it was a little more believable, but right now they kind of need all the IPs they can get. They need all the licenses they can get, so they can kind of, squeeze them for as much as they're worth now, because it's they're in a lot of trouble. They sold that same entertainment company now for 500 million, like 3 billion to 500 million. Like, that's just bad. That's bad math.
Yeah.
So
It still sounds like a lot of money, though.
But billions?
It's a lot of money, but
I know.
But
you
$2.5
say it, and
billion
you're like,
to just
they
be
bought
like,
it for
I lit
3
it on
billion
fire.
and got 500 million. I was like, yeah, that's a good deal. But it's a terrible deal. But it sounds like more.
Yeah. Just imagine what, like, if they took that $2.5 billion, they could have made like 27 GI Joe movies, or whatever. I don't know, but it just seems like such a bad investment, And we're talking. It was purchased and then sold within. A lot of things have happened, but I think, like, what, 3 years, 4 years, like, you didn't do anything with it. So, I would say still they need these brands to be viable, but uh, I don't know. It's a weird time right now for sure.
Mm.
Um, but I think they are still I think they're phasing down something, because you look at the brands now, they don't have everything they used to. They are not the premier brand like they used to be, in my opinion. They're still coming out with cool stuff though. I'm loving it. So Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, what do you think, Nay?
Well,
Right.
I think this is definitely what we've been talking about for months. Um, we've been talking that, Target, especially Target, has
Mhm.
been clearancing out, Marvel Legends, a month after they get them. It's become a joke. You just wait for clearance. Most of the time you could buy them at full price, hold on to your receipt, and they'll be clearance by the time before your receipt expires. Um, Something has to happen and something has to change. So I don't know if it was Target that said, "Hey, we're not as interested in all these Marvel Legends," or if it was Hasbro themselves just, trying to protect the brand. I don't know. But I definitely see the writing on the wall. That's why, like, right now, the only waves I think that have been on shelves have been the X-Men 97, which is a media
Mhm.
tie-in, and technically, if you want to get technical, I think it's considered MCU in a sense. Um, and then we had the Spider-Man No Way Home figures, and now we're seeing those boxed uh, Infinity Saga
Mhm.
repaints and stuff like that, and that's all that we're seeing at retail because that's what they think right now is going to sell. And you know seeing the some of the live stream, the wave that got announced, the Zabu wave, it's pretty great. It's pretty awesome looking, to be honest. It's a great diverse character selection. Some really needed updates on figures. I mean, uh Kazar alone and Zabu, or like the builder figure, are so much better than they were. I mean, how old even were those figures now? Like at least like 12, 15 years old. So I mean, it's not even like these were that new that they were replacing. Some people were pissed because, hey, this was exclusive, so long ago. Um, but and I'm sure that wave uses is a ton of reuse. I'm sure it's a ton of cost saving in there somewhere as well, which is fine because, like, I think it was let me see
First
who said it because
argument?
I want to make sure I give the right credit. Um, yeah, it was the 45th lyric,
Uh,
talking about how, they can get a chance to do lesser known characters because, Cory and I have talked about it. Who's left other than, big Spider-Man and X-Men waves? And even then you're like, who's left there too? So to be able to dig down deep, yeah, you're not going to put, Kazar on a Target shelf unless you want people to buy it as He-Man, you know? But the Target has their own problem selling He-Man, so let's not even get started there. That's probably not a great idea. So I this is, I think, part of the shift. It's part of the new model that we're seeing. We talked about, going specifically online only. I don't think this is quite there, but this is an extension of that. Because it's fan channel, there's a lot of options as far as pre-ordering or ordering or buying or waiting. And just like 45th Lyric said there too, it gives the impression that they fixed distribution because it's getting to the people it's getting the right products into the right hands. So while, yeah, I think it is saving a sinking ship, I think this is, for the foreseeable future, a great avenue to take because we are getting what we demand in ways that we want them. Now, the compromise on that, like I said, tons of reuse and potential more price increases because we're going to be talking about smaller and
mm.
smaller, batches and, smaller amount of figures being made. And budgets can only, budgets are set for certain things, and that it's for certain things. So you can either afford new tooling or you can do different paint apps or you can do whatever, but it's not always going to be the same amount.
I mean, it's kind of like what I was thinking, like when I read this, an hour before we started recording is what we were doing. I thought like, oh, okay, maybe is this a bad thing? Like I kind of, I mean, we've talked about it multiple times, right? At this point about like the clearance and not wanting wave after wave after wave to where you can't even keep up and stuff like that, focusing more on, like you said, smaller, lesser known characters for people like Corey. You've been collecting, it seems like, Marvel Legends for a long time. For me, I'm only like really picking and choosing certain things that come that catches my eye, go on my representation shelf, whatnot. So like having those still hit like retail in a very small way, mostly like MCU stuff or whatnot, is kind of a good idea. Like I just have to agree. Like I don't think that this is a doom and gloom thing, although that's just our clickbait titles. But I kind of it makes a lot of sense to go this way versus selling things to people who don't want them and then go on clearance, and then the people who did want it just wait for it to go on clearance, and then you're not making money, and so forth, or Target's getting pissed off or Walmart's getting pissed off. But I think also too, could this have something to do with just like, seems like Target's not like 100% in love with having all of the collectible toys and stuff like that.
Right.
We're seeing less exclusive just throughout other companies, if I'm not mistaken, just at least from what I have been paying attention to. So it could just be a sign that other companies are going to go this way more frequently, and I think that would be better to get a hold of things more. Right? You don't have to go to
Well,
the
I mean,
store
we're
every day.
already seeing it. McFarlane, we talked about it a couple weeks ago with their, first. Wasn't that the first like full exclusive wave, Corey?
Yeah, yeah.
Crisis on Infinite. Yeah,
It-
and now we discover that there are platinum chases within that as well, which is crazy because you have no
Yeah.
recourse other than to just gamble and order as many of them as you can and hope you get one. I don't, but that's beside the point. That's a whole nother subject we could talk about. They're doing online only stuff. They're doing that. Mattel is shifting focus on part of their Masters of the Universe program over to online only through Mattel Creations. So we lived in this sort of golden era where shit was just in so abundance, whether we wanted it or not. That's debatable. There was
Mm.
so much product for like 2 years, maybe 2, 3 years. There was so much product out there that it just couldn't match the demand. And now we're going to go back for it. And it's going to go back to these different ways because retailers just don't want to take the hits anymore.
well, we're really never going to get another time with Marvel Legends. It, I just I wouldn't call them like stinker waves, but like there were a lot of waves that came out for Target, especially. I feel like it was like that X-Men wave, and then the first What If wave, and then the second What If wave. It just was like too, like they were like super obscure, and I just think, once again, I have them, but maybe they were bad ideas for like a wave, because now we're looking at completely a new way of redistributing like figures because of those waves did so poorly. So,
Yep.
and then the X-Men 97 wave, which I thought in my head, I was like, this is going to be the one. People are going to love this. And man, when it was out, it was like, okay, why isn't anybody buying this? And I'm not the majority, I guess, on that one either. But yeah, it
I
was
think a
just
lot of that
way too
was,
many.
again, once again, waiting for clearance. I did it. And
Mhm.
I got burned because I never found Wolverine on clearance, and that was the one I wanted. So now Wolverine's the most expensive, and so I played a game. I lost, and it's gonna happen. But a lot of people played games, and then they got the ones they wanted. So
Yeah. Was it just again, my shopping experience, I guess, is skewed because of going to the specific Target. But I feel like I never really saw the X-Men wave. So like I've only, well, I guess Bishop, I probably saw a lot of Bishop. But really, like ever since the first time they were there, I saw them all. And I was like, I'll wait. And then I come back and I'm like, oh, they're all gone now.
yeah,
So
they
like,
didn't last long.
yeah, at least at this Target specifically. So yeah, I think it is. I want to say a smart move in a sense to just focus completely on like online. I feel like that is going to be better for us. Do you think that they'll do well, I guess my question is, are they doing specific like exclusives to like e-retailers? Have they ever done that in the past to say like this is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive or Entertainment Earth or Nerdzoic or something like that? Or could you see that happening
Mhm.
or do they want
It
to
would
keep
it
away
would
from
have to
that?
be like a repaint to do
Yeah.
that. Like it would just have to be like I would think. I would
Mhm.
think it would have to be like very minimal cost to be an exclusive to an e retailer.
Yeah.
I do
'Cause I mean,
think it's not even Marvel Legends though. Like we're seeing this behavior across the board with Hasbro. They just released a 5-pack of Transformers that is like a fan channel esque
Mhm.
exclusive, and that's going to Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. But I definitely think that was another a thing that was supposed to go to Target, and then
mm,
Target kind of said, "Nah, we're not going to do this anymore because we're clearancing this stuff out at like half off, you know."
Mhm.
So, um, and now that's the only
Yeah,
way
and
we
that's
can
a
get that
pretty
out.
heavy hitter, set too. I mean, a lot of those are tough to get now, and for anybody who is looking for G1 stuff, that's a really nice one. And yeah, Star Wars Vintage Collection. There's a whole wave coming up that is fan channel exclusive as well. Um, so it's more obscure characters that wouldn't sell off a retail shelf. But don't forget, like fan channel does include things like GameStop, and
that's I
independent
forget.
stores as
Yeah.
well. So it's
GameStop
not
has
it's
it.
not specifically online.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Well, I mean, is there any negative thing? Because I feel like we've kind of all, well, like, outside of like the potential increase in price due to like
Yeah,
do
I
that,
think
but
that's what we got to be ready for
yeah,
is potentially a slowdown of waves, which isn't necessarily a bad thing,
right.
and a potential cost increase or um I don't want to say like cutting costs, but like more budget friendly decisions.
So, Ghost of Mr. Modern Toy for here.
Oh, he's alive.
Long time caller, first time listener. Uh, one question I do want to ask you guys is with the if this is the way things are going to go for Marvel Legends, if it is going to go primarily to fan channel, and we're going to see these potential changes of price increases and smaller assortments or I guess smaller numbers of being shipped out. Do you think that's sustainable for the line to survive, or do you think it will eventually either go away completely or have to take a break? And if so, how long do you think it has left?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my answer off the air. Um, no, but I would say that was a radio joke because he said first time. Never mind. Um, I'll
I
just
was
pipe
like,
in
why
real
don't you
quick and
tell us?
say I
Yeah.
don't think it's potentially the end. As long as they can sustain the cost and keeping in mind that the collector's market is getting smaller. Um, was that your question? I sort of forget it already.
I mean, to sum it up, yeah, that's basically it. Like,
Mhm. Um, I don't think it'll have to die because I think even with all of the modern updated technology and different things that they've done, they have built a pretty impressive tooling library that can sustain them for quite some time.
I think it would something more traumatic will have to happen before the line would die. Like I think Hasbro would be like, "Hey, we're closing up shop before
Right.
mm,
the line will die."
Or
But
McFarlane
but
gets the license, something like that, you
right,
know.
right, or that happens. But I do think I I hate to keep bringing up the bigger issue, but Hasbro's doing this
If
across
you
the
bring up that entertainment company one more time, I swear to God.
it's
Did
$3 billion
you
that
know
they
that they
spent for.
sold it? They sold it. No, the weird thing is that all of it. I feel like they've been very diverse in you know, they had a lot of just banger lines all together. But I think the fatigue is not just Marvel. The fatigue is not just Star Wars. It's Star Wars, Marvel, and Transformers. Transformers, as a huge Transformers fan, I just can't help but think that the Transformers line is kind of on fumes right now. And uh and it's not because they've done a bad job or anything, it's because they've done everything. There's
Mm.
there's not a lot of space to go to.
And a bigger problem there, and this is a whole nother conversation, but
I know I keep
there's nothing new.
Yeah, yeah. There's
They
nothing new
don't do
because
anything
we've
new.
gone into nostalgia so hard,
Yeah.
and we've hit that nostalgia button so hard that it was like, oh yeah, we forgot to like move forward
Mhm.
at all. So you know, you got Marvel stuff, it kind of holds on to the movies, uh you know, just kind of like how Pops does. They're like, we have IPs forever, so you'll have Funko Pops forever. Marvel kind of has that going for it. But Transformers, I mean, even the producers of Transformers are like, yeah, we got an animated movie coming out, but after that, we don't really know. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any more live action movies for that, not at all. So
Not for a while.
that's the big, what I feel is the bigger issue.
So I guess it's, I only mean this half-heartedly, but like in comics, you know, you get to issue 1062 million of, you know, Spider-Man, and then they're like, oh no, we're doing an ultimate, or we're doing something like that to shoot some energy back into like the line or the series. Is there anything that could be done just for like Transformers or something that would get you, not necessarily to, I guess that's a weird way. I was gonna say not necessarily to buy the same figures that you already bought, but is there
But
a
that no,
way to
that's
like,
it. That's the game right there. That's how many times can you get us to buy the
yeah.
same dude? How many times, Corey, have you bought Snake Eyes?
I'm
You
not
know,
going to
how
tell
many
you.
times?
No
So that's
way.
just all they do. And we've talked about it, Jamar. Like Corey and I talked about how in 2006, when the G.I. Joe Spy Troops came out, it was never going to get better than this. And it keeps getting better. So at some point, and I don't know how much it's going to cost us,
Yeah.
because if they're going to improve on what we currently have as far as Transformers or even now GI Joe Classified, if they're going to improve on that, one, how much is that going to cost us? And there's no way they can get us to replace all of them, but they probably will. It's going to be like music, or we're just going to going back to buy vintage or 3 3/4 inch again, and we're going to do that train all over again.
Yeah.
Or you say, I'm good here, I'm going to stop.
There's that too. But
Because
I've yet to do it in 30 years.
but
So
here's the thing: is in terms of Jamar's question, an ultimate something to get you back in. Nate sent me a picture of a 3-0 Snake Eyes and was like, I don't collect this, but man, this is my favorite. And I'm like, yeah, there it is. There it is right there. That's the and
it's true.
what I find weird about that is you see that more and more too, is Hasbro kind of third partying out like not like bootlegs, but
Officially.
their official licensed stuff from other toy companies, which is that's kind of weird to me. But that's happening more and more. So whatever that means.
Interesting. It's just, I don't want to like just end it and say, yeah, we're all fucked. The end of times are, it's just coming. It's just inevitable. I guess I'm happy that like I'm collecting turtles and it just seems to never die. Outside of this a short period of, I guess,
But how
what,
many
5 or
times
6
can
years
you
ago.
keep buying the same turtles? I guess
Yeah, but
limitless.
the thing is that I'm getting new comics. We get new turtles now with like the last Ronin 2 Revelations,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it is.
We
You
used
got
to get new stuff for
cartoon, new
Star Wars
movie.
and Marvel too, but then everybody gets mad.
Yeah, and that's actually what I was gonna go at. This is kind of like we're saying the line wouldn't die, and now it seems more so we should be talking about Transformers ending soon. But Marvel Legends, like, do you think at some point though, and I don't know how long we're gonna keep going with this, but do you think that Disney would just be like, you know what? we want someone else to do something fresh in the line.
Sure.
Like, or
Mhm.
are they in such contract with Hasbro that they wouldn't be able to pull out? Because I feel like Disney is just the, most powerful company in the world.
I
So,
think I think the Star Wars license is currently held until 2025. They continually re-up it every few
mhm,
years, but I mean, at the end of 2025, they could decide not to renew it. That would be crazy, and I don't see it happening,
mhm,
but they could.
They could. Uh, like, so if you look at Black Series when it first started, it was like amazing, right? It was like the coolest stuff ever. And now we just had a Black Series figure get revealed, the Night Owl, and everybody's like, "What the heck, man? Like you guys couldn't even like mold a new helmet. It's Costco Reeves from head to toe, and then repainted at different
It's like
colors."
different colors. Yep.
Yeah.
mhm.
So it's like you were looking at a premium brand, and they told us it's a premium brand. We're paying for premium brand, and then they gave us a repaint that is like almost like unacceptable. Like
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's like, okay, well, I don't need that.
I just wonder how
No.
much does like Disney care, just as long as they're getting some money. But like, is that a hit for like Disney as the brand of like, okay, you guys aren't really giving us the same quality anymore. But
Well,
then
you know,
again, like, who could they go to?
if
Like,
well, if you look at all of the other licenses, like, okay, so not Star Wars, not Marvel, um, Mattel does so much for Disney. Like if you
mm,
like Inside Out, like any of those like cartoon
like
ones,
every
those
yeah.
are all those are all done by Mattel. And for a while there, when Mattel was doing bad, I was like, Disney's going to buy Mattel, and they're just going to have their own toy company. And if that happens, they're going to be like, "Hey, we don't really need you, Hasbro, anymore. Like, remember when you guys bought that entertainment company?"
Ah,
I just snuck that one in there. That's the last one, I
that was
promise.
good. That was good. That was good.
Uh,
Entertainment 720.
wait,
E
is that
one. Like, I don't know if they
what
had
was it?
like some
Entertainment
cool.
Worldwide? What was the Step Brothers? Isn't it like?
Oh
Oh, what
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. Entertainment Worldwide. Yeah.
Oh man. Um. Well, yeah. I don't know. Do we have any more? It feels weird now not saying the Patreon like read or
Yeah.
see it. All good takes though, and I appreciate the jumping it off. But yeah, good. All right. I wasn't paying attention to time, so I don't know how long this was going. It felt like we were going for a really long time. But this is also the first time I've recorded in, I don't know, 5, 6 weeks. It could have been 10 minutes, and I am exhausted. So I guess it's probably a good time to just stop this week's episode. So make sure to
Hey,
let us know.
I don't know how long it was either, Jarmar, but I'm coming away satisfied.
Ah, that's it. That's it. It was so much anticipation and pressure.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
didn't want to like
I'm satisfied.
underperform. So like
Nope.
I'm happy
It was
I did
good.
it for you.
You did.
So
Michael's looking down on us
looking
right
down.
now.
Yes.
I don't think he's looking down. Um
I hope he's not looking down in like 45 minutes. If he is, I'm giving you warning, buddy. Give me 45 minutes. Look away.
please look away. When I lock the iPad, look away.
Hmm.
So yeah, I guess everybody who's watching, make sure to let us know in the comments if you think that it is the writing on the wall, or did we convince you that everything's okay, or is there a new idea out there, Star Wars Gen 3, the new movie. I don't know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and, of course, subscribe. It helps us out. Plus, you get awesome toy related content in your feed. If you're already a fan of the channel, you've already done your liking and subscribing, you should probably head over to patreon.com/modern toy fair, where we have a bunch of tiers with different rewards. There will be a link below for a free trial. I can actually say that and he'll do it. That's kind of cool. You can
Yeah,
follow us, of
right
course,
here. Click right
right,
here.
right here. Link
Right here.
below, right there. You
Right
can, of
here.
course, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Modern Toy Fair. I should probably tell Michael, that it's X now. I'm, of course, on TikTok. You can follow me at Jarmar_games, where I just want you to follow me just because. I don't know. At this point, I haven't posted anything. Cory, is there anything you would like to pimp out or tell people to
yeah.
go find you?
Oh yeah. Google Vile Consumption. You'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, all of the social medias. But more importantly, is I will be in Pittsburgh this weekend at a horror convention called Horror Realm, and it's got awesome B movie actors. You know, all tons of fun horror vendors and me. So it'll be a good time. I think it's going to be pretty busy, and so we're going to have a blast. And yeah, you can see me there.
Sounds cool. I am told by the ghost of Michael that all of your links will be below in the description as well. I can't read that.
Horror vendors, yes, there will be horror vendors.
Horror vendors. What else? Oh, Nate, what do you have?
Yes. Well, you know, we've got a special new podcast coming out. I'm not going to lie. This one comes to us from the mind of senior media producer Suk Matain. It comes Cory's 7-inch fantasy. And this is it's what the kids call spicy podcast, where we explore Modern Toy Fair's very own Cory's fantasy figure line. We learn that 6 inches is too small to satiate Cory's burning desires, and 8 inches might not fit inside his shelves. But 7 inches is just right. We discuss 7-inch horror figures, 7-inch Lord of the Ring figures, maybe even some 7-inch Dick Grayson figures. So make sure you tune in.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna need the parental advisory stickers all over that.
Do they even do those anymore? Are those a thing? They don't even really make. I mean, they barely make CDs. So
I have them. I have them on my stuff. When I put
you
the
you
show,
put
I'm
that
like,
there.
please,
Yeah.
like, don't let your
like,
5-year-old look at those.
Is it legally required? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, I was just saying, tell us in the comments if it's legally required. Hopefully we'll see you next time. Damn it, I did it. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching.
To do it now.
All right. A huge thank you to our Patreon members. Is that what it is? Are they members? Or are they followers?
Sukma Tank, Jason Miller, Havin Hernandez, Aaron Samples, the 45th Lyric, Christopher, and last but not least, Boogeyman 13.